the end. But it really sets up for him to be the hero. You know, he was the one who...
It was his redemption story.
It's his redemption story, exactly. And you know, it's... I mean, I was sad because I really thought it was going to happen. And here I thought the Razor Crest was now the, you know, the anti-Millennium Falcon, that nothing was going to ever penetrate it. You know, but all the same, I really think this was a great story for the Ugnaught. As much as character development for Mando, it was a great character development for the Ugnaught as well.
It was. It's just unfortunate that they decided to sacrifice him for that story at the end, because we got all this great character development and then the character's gone. But like we were saying, it is his redemption story, and he gets into it with her early on, where she said that, you know, she mentions, oh, well, you worked for the Empire. He goes, no, I was sold into servitude, you know, as an indentured servant, and don't you judge me, blah, 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 whatever, however that conversation exactly went. But he was basically telling her, you don't get the right to judge me. I worked to get my freedom. Like,
right.
I just wanted away from them. I did whatever I had to do to get out of there. And this is basically my redemption, is to save or to help this baby or whatever. And he literally gives the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
He fails. Ultimately, he fails.
Yeah.
But he gives his ultimate sacrifice trying to do right.
Yeah. And what a great redemption story it was. I agree.
Plus, I mean, they already made him an old man, so it's not like, you know,
he can't live on forever. You know, he's the kind of the Obi-Wan, the whole thing. You know, sacrifice for the young to live on.
Right. So, you know, it's not as tragic as someone younger dying.
Right.
Whatever. But it was upsetting for my wife and son, because that is their favorite character. Anyway, so before we move on, anything else you want to say about this particular episode?
Well done, character development. What a great part 1 to part 2.
Sounds good. I would probably just mirror those exact same things. I thought we had good character development. I thought we had great action. We saw a good setup. We saw that everyone's trying to stab Mando in the back, and then, you know, luckily he comes to his senses and doesn't. So we get to move on to part 2. And, yeah, I guess that covers it. As far as final thoughts for the 2 of these episodes, again, we're still rising, and that's where the crescendo is. Mm-hmm. When they pick up Baby Yoda like a football at the very last scene of this show, you're like, oh no. And I had caught back up to the show by this point, even though I was away. So I actually had to wait for episode 8, which I know killed you.
Okay.
It was horrific.
Okay. Here's the thing about this now. Episode 6 happens, 7 happens. Okay. So I have friends at work, friends at the show, and we're talking about it. Hey, did you see it? Hey, did you see it? Work's been busy. No, I haven't. I finally get to see it. And when do I get to see it? When episode 8 dropped. That's when I saw it.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I swear. Because I thought I had at least a 2-week break until 8 would show up, because I thought 8 was going to happen this month. And I said, I got time. I'll watch it. I'll take notes. But when 8 dropped, now I'm like, now I got to watch 3 episodes now. And then I couldn't talk about it with any of my friends till I saw at least 6 and 7. And then they're like, oh, well, you're going to have to watch 8. Oh my God, what a great cliffhanger 7 was. It was a great cliffhanger, da-da-da. 8 was even better. And I'm like, shut up. I said, let me get caught up first, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, oh, man. See, now I watched 7 the Friday after it dropped, so I still had a week to wait. You'll do anything not to have suspense, huh? Anything, including not watch the show.
Suspense. I just, you know, it just so happened that it was that's what it was. You know, life happened. I got caught up in a couple things at work and home life. I got caught up in some things, so I never had the chance to actually sit down. And you know, I know it killed the water cooler at work for sure. It definitely killed. I tipped over the water cooler in a case. And said, no one's watching it. No one's talking about it. You know. But I think more of the chatter was about 8 than it was about 7. You know, the most I can tell from fans of the show that I know was 7 was a great cliffhanger. It was a great part 1. Part 2, being episode 8, was actually better.
I don't know if that's true of my friends who watch the show. We were all talking about the last scene of 7.
Yeah.
Every one of us. And, but yeah, so, anyway. Anything not to get suspense. But before we go, we have a great offer for you. Cuts by Magic is offering all our listeners a 10% discount on any custom order with code MANDO. Contact Cuts by Magic by searching Facebook for Cuts by Magic, CUTSBYMAGIC. Message the page and tell them Mando, and you'll receive a 10% discount on all items purchased, new and returning customers.
Please join us on the UFB Facebook page. Like we said earlier, we'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to hear what you think. We'd love to engage in discussions. This podcast is about you. Please write us in on the UFB Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you.
So, Tribz, where can people find you when you're not picking up a baby like a football?
You can find me on the internet. You can find me on the UFB Facebook page. You can find me on the Disney Aficionados page. You can find me on Twitter at TrekFanLV. T, the F, L, and V are capital. So, Magic, where can people find you when you are not being walked through a village when you were told there were only 4 enemies and find out there were 27?
Well, when I'm not doing that, or maybe even when I am, because I'm on Twitter trying to get backup, you can find me on Twitter at MagicDrop5. There's no spaces, and the 5 is a digit not spelled out. Under that same handle, you can find me on Twitch, playing games like Age of Empires 1, 2, maybe 3, World of Warcraft, Diablo 3 and 4 when it comes out soon, this year actually. Possibly some other stuff. I'm going to see what communities are going strong right now. There's another podcast coming to this network that I will be on very soon with a good friend. And that's really it other than the UFP Facebook page.
You know I hate suspense.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to wait.
Oh, no. Fine. I'll wait. Like everybody else.
Yep. You and everyone else. Suspense. Please go to iTunes and leave us a star rating and written review. That will help others find our podcast.
And at this time, we'd like to thank our executive producers who make all of this possible. They are Brandon-Shea, Ken Tripp, Zach Moore, and Tony Robinson.
And after you've listened to this podcast, we hope you will drop us a message and tell us how we are doing. Keep those mouse ears open for more Mickey's Marvels. And besides, who wouldn't want to be a kid again?
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.